Hey Libra, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and today we're going to be doing your reading for the third week of December. So from the 15th to the 21st, this is good for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So let's start right away with your first card, which is, I always trust the direction of the universe and know that I am being guided. Oh, okay, that's absolutely beautiful. Libra, trust that you're being guided this week. Trust that your steps are moving in the right direction. Trust that everything is flowing and that one way or another, you're going to arrive at your destination, even if you don't know exactly how. It's kind of like, thinking, well, I'm going to go somewhere that's 6 hours away and I'm going to drive there. Technically, you can only see the, couple of meters ahead of your vehicle, right? You can't see the whole thing. Not with your eyes, anyway. Maybe within a map, right? And you have to trust that even though you're just seeing the road ahead of you, that if you make the right choices, you're gonna get there, right? You're gonna eventually get there. And that's what's happening this week. Maybe you can only see what you're dealing with at this time, but you are being guided and led in the right direction. So we have the first card being the Hermit. So that is super interesting. The Hermit is about having your own personal space, being a little bit secluded, perhaps, maybe taking a few steps back and isolating a little bit. Maybe because you feel like you need to think or you need to process your emotions or you need to, um, maybe you feel overwhelmed with everyone around you. Some of you maybe work or live in spaces that are crowded with people, right? And or kids, maybe schools and stuff like that. So maybe right now this week it feels very tempting to go into a little bubble of silence, of peace, of quiet, of ease, in which you're only dealing with your thoughts and your emotions. Within that energy, it's very easy for your intuition to speak to you, for your awareness to rise, and it's easier to listen to yourself when there's not like a bunch of people around. I mean, makes sense. The challenge that we have though is the Hanged Man here. So this week, the Hangman is inviting you to look at things differently. There is a perspective that maybe is not the first initial way in which you see a situation. It may be a perspective that you need to kind of I would say, what's the word? Like retrieve from within yourself. It may be a little bit difficult to see things in this light, or in this perspective, or through this lens. But Spirit is giving you that desire to isolate yourself this week so that it's easier for that perspective to come to light. So honor that wish and desire to spend time on your own. If you're craving your space, carve the space for you to be on your own, right? The Hangman also talks about this feeling of being like on hold, feeling like you are not quite there yet, but you're not where you were either. You're somewhere in between. And that in between can be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you know that you're in the in between, it's easier to be patient. So it's important to identify, well, I'm in a space of transition. I am moving from point A to point B. And naturally, I'm not going to feel grounded in either place A or B because you are kind of like in the middle of it all. This week, I feel like you're going to start to see something that you want coming in. You're starting to see the signals that this manifestation that you're hoping for is arriving. It's not quite in your hands yet, but you can see the signs. You're hearing perhaps the confirmations. You're getting signals here and there that it is arriving. And you get to hold on to that excitement because it is like something that is confirmed but isn't quite delivered just yet, but it is confirmed anyway. For example, let's say that you get approval on a credit card or approval on a loan or a mortgage or something. And it's like, well, maybe you don't have the money right now. Maybe you don't have everything as we speak, but you have already been approved. So in a way, it's like signals of that going in the right direction, right? The Three of Wands does tell you, like, try to be patient this week. Try to be wherever you are, be all there, be very present, and try to take things as they come. This is going to be an excellent week to be comfortable. I see that the clothing that is displayed, it's like a lot about comfort and ease. So prioritize that. Prioritize being comfortable in every stage of the process. I see that you're going to be exploring the possibilities of maybe monetizing some passions or hobbies in the middle of the week. You may be thinking, well, I would love to do this. I would love to do that. Maybe I could do it this way. Maybe I could do it that way. And look at how interesting. I didn't realize. We see the dragonfly right here, right? And we see it right here as well. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small. So the dragonfly could be very relevant for you this week. You may be receiving signals from like passed on loved ones, messages from ancestors, winks from the universe, right? Coming in the form and the shape of dragonflies. So that's very special. I see you tending to your garden. For some of you, literally, for others of you, creatively. It's like you have a lot of ideas, a lot of things you want to create, to explore, to give life to. And maybe, things are aligning in such a way for you to have more time, more space, um more mental space, more energy, more time in general, I feel, to dedicate to these things. And this is very beautiful because it nurtures your inner child. It nurtures that innocent, beautiful, hopeful, dreamy part of you that wants to create and design and have fun. Then we have the Seven of Wands on the weekend. On the weekend, you may feel the need to draw your boundaries a little stronger than usual. You may feel like someone is slacking, maybe not doing their part. You may feel like someone is taking a little bit too much from you, or maybe just behaving in such a way in a dynamic with you that it feels unbalanced. So you may want to, you know, set the record straight, or maybe just, kind of hint here and there that balance needs to happen. And I feel like with these boundaries, you gain freedom and you push yourself out of a state in which you felt helpless or stagnant. So maybe there is a part of your job, a part of your responsibilities, a part of your to-do list that you're saying, you know what, I actually don't have enough time or energy for this. This is actually not something that I should be doing anyway, so might as well release it and focus on what is important to me, what lights me up from within. And I think that's exactly what you're going to be doing. Creative projects like writing, reading, art, drawing, designing, interior design, graphic design, all forms of art, cooking could be very relevant. And it could be things that you want to do more of, but maybe you haven't had the time. And I feel like after this contemplation, you realize, you know what? I deserve to have the time to do this. So I'm going to place my boundaries where I need them. And that frees you. You are being perceived here as the Two of Cups. So you are someone who's very reasonable. You are someone that you love people properly, whether they're friends, co-workers, romantic partners, family members. It's like you have a very balanced, healthy approach to love, and you see them for who they are without judgment. You really do want the best for your loved ones. You really do respect them, hope to help them, assist them in any way that you can. It's like you're a very generous person, and you're being perceived as such. And maybe a part of you is hesitant to place boundaries clearly because you don't want anyone to think that you're anything other than that, right? Because that's a true nature of who you are. You're an amazing, amazing, beautiful person to be in a relationship with. And I feel like this weekend you get a chance to recognize that you can be that, all of that, completely embodied, and also place your boundaries and demand what's right for you. And it's not like one or the other, it can be both at the same time. That can be part of the lesson of this week. In your environment, we have the moon. So around you, the energies may feel a little foggy. You may feel this week like things are a little strange, a little confusing, like maybe you don't have all the information, like people around you are also in a bit of a haze. Um, you may hear a lot of your loved ones complaining about not knowing what to do or how to go about things. Um, maybe you yourself at times this week feel like you don't know what to do, like you don't know how to go about things. Um, but that clarity is going to arrive. Follow your heart and what feels good for you. That's kind of like the moonlight, right? Through the night. What brings you joy can be that illuminating factor that helps you see in the dark. For your hopes and fears, we have the Three of Swords, which is very, very interesting. And the Six of Swords. Wow. Okay. So there may be something that you're trying to let go of. There may be something. This blue dress, this like navy blue or dark colored long dress could be relevant for some of you. It seems here like you want to let go of something. You want to let go of some kind of anchor holding you in place. Maybe you want to have more fun, more adventure, more excitement. But maybe out of the fear of being rejected, it's like you choose to be happy and choose to be satisfied with what you have because you want to be loved, because you want to be accepted, because you don't want to rock the boat. But maybe if you are truly honest with yourself, you may realize that there is something perhaps in your romantic relationship, perhaps in your work, perhaps in your relationship with yourself that is not quite right and that you would like to improve. So this is going to be a week in which this may come to light very clearly. And you're going to realize, you know what? I don't need to hide this anymore. I don't need to push this down. I can accept that I feel this way. And I can accept that I need to place boundaries or change things or improve things. And that doesn't have to necessarily mean that things are not working, you know? I feel like some of you want to travel, but you're kind of anchored in place for whatever reason, and it may be frustrating. It's okay to voice out those frustrations. It's okay to admit that, you're feeling however it is that you're feeling, Libra. And that doesn't make you any less lovable. That doesn't make you any less awesome of a partner, of a coworker, of a friend. Now, with the Nine of Pentacles here, I see you surrounded by comfort, luxury, nature, prosperity, abundance. I see you enjoying life, seeing the beauty of life. For those of you who are craving travel, fun, adventure, you're definitely getting that in the near future. Okay, so don't feel like you're going to be stuck always. Things are changing, things are definitely improving in a wonderful, wonderful way. I see you being very, 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 very prosperous, yet living in a way that is very aligned with your heart. So for this week, the angel number for you, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, is balance 222. Now is the time to take inventory of your feelings. Are there any feelings of imbalance or resistance? See? Yeah, you need to kind of admit your feelings to yourself. Divine whispers are here to remind you that the alignment that you seek also seeks you. So breathe, rest, and reset. Hermit. The affirmation is, what feels peaceful and calm easily finds me as I restore the balance within me. Beautiful. An emotion that you may be dealing with this week a lot could be the emotion of optimism. Beautiful. So no matter what is going on, you have the ability to be optimistic about it all. Sometimes optimism is available, sometimes it's not as available, but it's in your hands and you can make it happen this week. Overthinking. Playing negative scenarios in your head is creating issues which weren't there at first. Ooh, okay. So maybe as you explore your emotions and as you give voice to your desires, try to at the same time identify that voice of fear, that voice of the mind, and maybe see the difference between the emotions and the mind, because I feel like the mind is going to be a little bit in overdrive here with this overthinking card. But the heart is going to be clear. So every time you find yourself overthinking this week, try to drop to your heart. If you have stayed all the way up to this point of the reading, thank you so much. You're awesome. I appreciate it. You're in for a treat because we're getting your Animal Spirit Oracle card to wrap up the guidance for this week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would love to have you here for future weekly readings. And your card is the raccoon. Okay, I love the raccoon. I love raccoons. That's the thing. I heard someone call them trash kitties. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. A kid was saying like, oh my god, there's a trash kitty. All right, let's see. So the message for this one is talented, shadowy, and in hiding. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times, it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When this energy is balanced, it is generous as a friend and it is an exceptional artist. When this energy is out of balance, it can be competitive and more on that vibe of like being the starving artist. And to bring into balance, make new work. So there you go. Follow that creative inkling. Place your boundaries where you need to have the time, the energy, the space to go with your art. Libra, I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. Please go ahead and like. Please say hi in the comment section if you would like to connect. I would love that personally. And subscribe to the channel before you go. Sending all my love, and I'll see you next week.